"Why do you do the things you do for me?" He said. "I've done nothing for you." Charlotte replied, "You have been my friend, and that in itself is a tremendous thing." From Charlotte's Web. I'm here to talk to you about friendship. Friendship is one of the most important gifts that we get in life. Muhammad Ali said, "I don't know the definition of friendship." Friendship is very hard to define. It's something that you don't learn in school, but if you don't learn the meaning of friendship, then you have learned nothing. Friendship can permeate your heart, to love and be loved, to know and be known, to understand and to be understood. In the last 2 weeks, I lost a really good friend. And my plan tonight was to come in and to give you this really sad speech about how I was feeling, because I thought that would be touching. But then last night, I decided to take it to Oprah. That's what I call it, take it to Oprah. What I do is I go to YouTube, and I go to any interview that Oprah has done, and I click on that one. Don't even know what it is, and I know that somewhere in there, I'm gonna find my aha moment. So last night I took it to Oprah, clicked the interview. She's talking to Gary Zukav, who wrote Seat to the Soul. Seat of the Soul. Seat of the Soul. And they were talking about a lot of stuff that was way over my head, and I was thinking, am I gonna get my aha moment? And then all of a sudden they start talking about the soul and the personality. Let me try to break this down for you because it's gonna take a minute. They said that the soul is huge, enormous. It lives forever. It is the mothership. And we are simply, as personalities, small boats that follow the mothership. Kahu is a personality. Dana is a personality. Mary is a personality. And they all have their own mothership that they're following. But there are people who follow with them. Sometimes motherships decide that they want to go in the same direction. And that's where we find our super friends. When their soul and our soul decide to move in the same direction and we both decide to follow, we get the chance to cross paths. What a blessing that is. My friend Fulton, I didn't know him very long, only 3 years. So when he passed away, the very first question I had for God or life or the universe was, why was it so short? Why didn't I get more time? When I met Fulton, he was 3 or 4 years out of having a double lung transplant. And the very first day that I met him, he told me that he felt like any life he got after this was a gift. So these were what he called his extra years. So I got to meet him in his extra years. What I learned through that conversation last night was that he waited, his personality waited for my personality to show up so that we could follow our motherships and cross paths. So my question no longer today is, why was it so short? But thank you for letting that happen in the first place. Fulton was an amazing guy. He was a singer. He played the keyboard. I met him one night at Java Jazz, loved what he was playing, walked over to him and said, "You're the first black person I met on Maui." And that minute, we became friends. The next day, he invited me to go to his house. And he let me interview him for 2 hours about everything in his life. And I recorded it, and I took notes, and it was amazing. Fulton was so full of life that he could bring life into any room. He was so difficult and hard-headed that he could fight with anybody in the whole world with a smile on his face. He loved women, and women loved him. He loved music, and he made love to music like he made love to the women in his imagination, because he was a big talker. He had a whole lot of that talk that went on. Friendship is not about length, it's about strength. Friendship is this, is when what you give equals what you get back. It's like one of the basic laws of physics. What goes up must come down. By the same breath, what goes out must come back in. So you have to guide your friendships with intention, with love. Make love your intention. And whether you get 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, or 4 minutes, or 4 years, or 50 years, absorb the gift. Know that it's a gift. So last night, I got my answer. Why did he do all of the things he did for me? When I got to Maui, I didn't have a car. I had no job. He said, don't worry about it. You can come with me and I'll teach you how to roadie for my band. And so he taught me how to set up all of the equipment and set up the song list and go around and get the tips from the audience. And for weeks we did that. But not only did he do that for me, but he lived in Wailuku. He would drive to the west side, pick me up. We would go to the Mac. He would drive me back to the west side at 11 o'clock at night and then drive himself back to Wailuku. And why? Because he knew I was his friend, and that in itself was a tremendous thing. Thank you.